everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today we're going to be playing with the final palette out of the Love Collection, which is the Velvet Liaison. I cannot say that word for nothing, y'all. It's the all matte palette, and it looks like this. Very pretty. Now, let's go and get started and we'll talk, okay? The first shade we're going to go into is Barely Veiled. There's another shade in here called Beige Bliss, and I'll use it real quick. It's basically my skin tone, like for real, for real. Like, it would set my eyeshadow base, which in my case I like because I like to set my eyeshadow base, so it would come in handy for me personally. But now we're going to go into the next darkest shade, which, like I said, is Barely Veiled. Now, with this palette, I will say that it's different, as in it is an all matte palette. Now, do I have these shades in my collection and the other palettes? I'm sure I do. Maybe not like the dupe of it, but pretty darn close to where I'll get the same look in the end, you know? But again, it would be spread out within my palettes. But, and I like Pat McGrath mattes. I do. I think they're great. This palette is beautiful. It works wonderfully. I had no issues out of the shades that I did use. But I'm not here for the matte, you all. I'm not gonna lie. First off, I never do an all matte look. As you can see, I did pull something else out of my collection from Pat McGrath, which I forgot I even had. But that's a whole other story. But, like, it's her metallics and her special shades. The sparkly, the ones you just stare at for hours and go, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. Those are the shades that I like. And those are the shades that I gravitate to. Now, this palette I do think is good for traveling because it will set up any look you want. I feel like it's got partly cool tone, partly warm tone, in my opinion. It leans a little bit of both, which is cool. I like that. We're going to go into the shade now, Voluptuous Rose. And we're going to start to darken it up. And I do, like I said, like the fact that I could take this with me and travel. It's secure in the packaging. Like, the packaging's nice. I don't think it'll break. So I will say that. And then take something else, you know, sparkly. I mean, I could use my highlighter even if need be. But, you know, like, even if you wanted to mix it up and do like a ColourPop shadow, you could. Or if you just wanted to, you know, take an all metallic palette or a shimmer palette or a duochrome, like, that would work, you know what I mean? So I do see where this palette could come in handy. I do see where there would definitely be a call for it. Now, with that said, it's just not calling technically to me. This will not be the palette that I use the most technically. Will I use it? Oh yes, I will, because I bought it, you know. And I do think it creates beautiful looks, don't get me wrong. But it's just not, like, my favorite. And to be completely honest, my favorite palette would be, I'm going to take that same shade, Voluptuous Rose, and run it along the lower lash line. My favorite palette would be the very first palette that I used. The one that basically looks like, you know, the Mthrshp. The first rose one. Can't even think of it right now. But that would be, you know, my favorite palette, to be honest. Because the color story is mine right now. Like, I'm into cool tones. I really am enjoying playing in cool tones. But it all just depends on, you know, your preference, what you're looking for. what you want to spend too. But I do think that this is a very good all matte palette if you're looking for something like that. Okay. Now that I got that along the lower lash line, I'll go in with the last dark shade I'm going to use, which is this dark, or yeah, I use that dark brown, Midnight Mink, and it's this one right here. Basically, the only shade I didn't use is this lighter brown. In this shade here, we're just going to put on the outer portion here and take it across. Like I said, I do think this palette is good, so please don't, you know, think that I don't, because I do. I do think it is worth the money even. But an all matte look just isn't a look I do because I like shiny. I'm a child. I'll admit it. I am a child. And I like shiny things. And when I show you this next thing that I found in my collection, I was just in love. Like completely and utterly in love with it. Like I had forgotten I had it even. And I mean, and I think it's because it is in like a single form, and that's why. And I wish I wasn't like that. I really do. And like the other palettes also, all these shades just blend like so beautifully into one another. Oh, you know what I done? Never mind. Just darken up. I may have a little fallout because of me doing this, but I need to make them both even. I truly just was not thinking there. That was my fault. I apologize. I'm kind of slacking. Okay. Then I went in to the shade Plum Provocateur, I don't know, this one right here, and we're going to run it across the lower lash line. Like, the gradient effect you get out of these shades are crazy, to be honest with you. And that goes for all palettes. The gradient effect is just stunning. The color collection, the selection she chose, it's like each color has a purpose. They truly do. And I'm really getting as close as I can to the lash line. Let me make sure this side is good still too. Sorry if I'm covering my face. I'm trying to really make sure I get both eyes the same, and it's not easy. Okay. Now we're going to go back into that voluptuous rose and just run it under the lower lash line, because I don't want to lose that pinky shade, because you know I love a pinky shade. And I think all these palettes go very well with the love theme, to give everybody something, no matter what it is. If you truly do want something, like, you could find it within this collection if you wanted to. And I think that's cool, to meet so many people's needs if they want it to be met. And the fact that she has never done a matte palette is just great. Okay, I think I have both eyes the same. Now, do I? I do not know. But I think I do, so we will go ahead and use the special shade that I chose, so I can show you, because you may have this and have forgotten about it. And if you did, you need to pull it back out, because it's amazing. Okay, so I used the Flirtatious blush today, along with the highlighter in Lunar Allure on my cheeks. So that's what I'm wearing. So what I have is this container, and it says Angel Dust Crystalline Prismatic Pigment, 24 months, right? And it's in one of these little things, right? And I just put a little bit on. I didn't even spray it, to be honest, and I probably should have, or I should have laid like her base thing down. But I just put a little bit in the lid, and then took my Refer 21 brush, picked it up, like really patted it on there in the brush, and then I'm going to pat it on through the lid. And this thing is just amazing, this color. Will it make a mess? Absolutely. If you do not lay something down, you will have a mess. But if you don't care about that, or if you do your makeup, you know, after you do your eyes, you will be perfectly fine. But can you see that? I mean, it's just beautiful, this thing. And I don't think I've ever even pulled it out, you all. I truly don't even know what I was thinking. Never using this? That's craziness. And I don't even know what it came with. I don't know how I got this, by no means at all. I think it came with an eyeshadow palette, or maybe like an eyeliner and a mascara, something along those lines, I think, but I'm not 100% either, to be honest. Okay, so let's brush off any fallout that I may have gotten. My makeup isn't the best anyway today, to be fair and honest. It's not looking good, the rest of my face. I sprayed the Peach Perfect Matte Setting Spray, and I don't even know what it did right here. It's like it left. It sprayed me and left some sort of powder, and I have tried to get that off all day, and I cannot. Luckily, I wasn't going anywhere today, so no big deal, really. But had I been, I would have been mad, because it just kind of like spit on me in a sense. I'm going to take the highlighter that I used for my cheeks, which is Pat McGrath Lunar Allure, and I'm just going to put that in my inner corner here, because I have no problem. I don't really care if I use my highlighter for inner corner. Like, it don't bother me on that one that much. But like I said, overall, that palette would be wonderful just to, you know, get the base of your eye look. And if you wanted to, like, buy one of her liquid shadows, it would be good for that also. So let's curl the lashes now. And I was going to use the Pat McGrath mascara again, and I forgot and grabbed the It Cosmetics Superhero one. So that was my mistake, but hey, it works. So we're all good still, you know? And we're going to put that on the top lashes real quick. For the waterline, I used the Makeup Geek one actually, which I don't think you can get anymore. It's like a cream. I forget the exact name of it, but it's like a nudie cream color. Because, I mean, I'm trying to use up my stuff as much as possible, but yet still being a full and buy a new. So I'm trying to be a smart fool basically. But I really do like the way those mattes performed. And if you like an all matte look, again, I do think you could create one out of that palette, because I feel like I could, but it's just not something I wear. And I really wanted to show you, you know, this way of wearing it. And I really was going to get one of her liquid shadows, but I just don't wear liquid shadows, so if I got it, it would just sit, I feel like. And I didn't want to do that, because they deserve to go to a good home. Someone that would use them, you know. Alright, I think I got my... I'm just going to use this on the bottom too. I think I did on the other side. I just put a little bit anyway. Nothing too major. Okay. I think we are good enough. I really hope you can't hear the bumping outside from another car. I don't know who is out there doing that, but someone is. Alright, so this is the final look using that palette. Let me show you. It's not my best look, I'll admit that, but I do think it turned out good. I do think, like, the shadows performed wonderfully. I had no issues. They blended, they built it, it's a nice gradient, like the whole 9 yards. The palette's wonderful. Just not my favorite. That's all. It's just not, like, calling to me. Now, in the sense of just using it by itself. Now, using it with this, absolutely. I could think of 1,000 different ways of using it. And using it with, like, a ColourPop shadow, absolutely again. Or using it with her liquid shadows, or any liquid shadow for that matter. Again, absolutely. So really, out of these three palettes, you got a little bit of everything. And like I said, my favorite was the Iconic Infatuation. And again, it's just a basic palette. Like I said, I have it in the rose, the Mthrshp rose, the first one. Pretty much, I mean, not a dupe, shade to shade, but pretty much the same kind of look, you know what I mean? Now, the warm palettes is a little bit, but again, nothing like too different. Like, she's had palettes like this in her collection. But if you like a warm palette, this is a nice setup. And again, the gradient to these are beautiful. So that is all I have today. Me personally, where I am, I do actually think that The all matte palette would be my second favorite just because it has cool tones. Hear me out. And I actually like the look I created with the Sublime Seduction, but it was beautiful and I really did like it and I thought it looked good, but it's warm. Just not my color story. That's it. So I actually think that would be my third favorite, which kind of surprises me, but I think I could do a lot with the all matte. But if I was in the mood, I'd have to be in the mood, you know what I mean? But again, it could change tomorrow depending on if I fall in love with warm tones, you know? But that is all I have for you today. I hope this video helped in some way. I hope it showed you that even beginners can use these palettes without any issues and it'll turn out okay. Because I did it, therefore you can do it. I promise you. But that is all I have for today. I really do enjoy this look, and I've enjoyed all three of the looks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all, that way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday. Again, I wore the Flirtatious blush and the Lunar Allure highlighter. For the bronzer, it is the Marc Jacobs, and then for lips, I use the Rose Glow from Makeup by Mario. And the rest is just a mess because I used that setting spray and I shouldn't have, and it sprayed me good. But I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.